Yeah, that was a helicopter. You saw that, right? I got it through the tree. I'm so good at this game. Hello and welcome to this cast game on Black Forest Duel. Our participants today are Finn Suojeluskunta. He's playing Berlin Command. No surprises there. And he's up against Many Cigarettes, who's playing as the 8th US Infantry. So we'll cast the deployments, and I will start with Many Cigarettes. So he's got an LRS. There is actually a road here, which I didn't know about. And the LRS is going to here. This is a really good spot because it lets you see people coming in here. So if you want to fight for Bravo, you need this. But whoever has this has a big advantage in the fight for Bravo. Behind that, we've got two ACAVs. These are quite expensive now, so you don't see them very often. 55 points. It's not really worth that. And they've got 25-point scouts inside them, so he's putting one here and one here. And behind that, we've got a Bradley CFV, so that's going to here to use its TOW 2s to shoot down this axis. Makes it very difficult to attack Bravo if you've got people squeezing them over here. Behind that, we've got two supply. These are the tracked ones. It's quite rare to see this. People usually go for the trucks, but Many Cigarettes has opted for the tracked ones. It's better against artillery, but it's slower. So I prefer the trucks. And then a 10-man engineer squad going to here. Mech Rifles Law going to this building. And then Rangers leading the way from the back. And they're going to... just looking at my face cam here. Should I be slightly bigger? Does it matter? Well, whatever. Just let me know what you think. And then I'll fix it a week from now. Where was I? Rangers, and then behind the Rangers, Mech Rifles Dragon going over here, so another ATGM on this side. M60A3 to try to press on the left, and Chaparral behind that, and CV for Delta Bravo. On the right, he's sending a supply, because there's an iHawk also going here. And then a Mech Rifles Law to here, a Mech Rifles Dragon to the building, the grain silo because farmers can see further than atheists. And yeah, some scouts also going there to spot with the additional LOS. So not that much going to Charlie. He's not really ringing any forward deployed stuff, but 8th doesn't really get that. Switching to his opponent's deployment. Suojeluskunta, he's opening with the Pissy B, which recon forward deployment. They're a decent squad, the B team. So he's going to try and unload these guys here. We'll see how that goes for him. And these guys will unload here on Alpha. So he's not going for that, it seems. Behind that, we've got 3 Stingers for Alpha and one just on the border between Alpha and Bravo. Berlin Rifles, these are actually a British unit, so they're 10 men, 65 points with shock. I think it's quite expensive for what it is, but the price of everything is just slowly going up. Patch after patch, the prices of everything go up. So this used to be egregiously expensive, and now it's not actually that expensive simply because the price of everything else has increased. Then you've got 3 Grenadier Voltigeurs with snipers, so this is like... the sniper's basically like an MG, except it does actually have additional range. So it's better than an MG. So yeah, but they've got no anti-tank capability, which is what the Berlin Rifles are for, presumably. I'm not quite sure where they're going, actually. They don't seem to have been pathed yet. Don't think those Berlin Rifles have been pathed yet. Anyway... So yeah, he's going to sit outside Bravo, and then 2 AA trucks, the Tarask, to also sit outside Bravo. He's got a racist, a VAB racist going over to here with its exceptional optics, but it does have mediocre stealth, which means it's probably going to get blown up when it gets spotted. 2 Polizei Reserve, so these are a cheapo... like a spammy unit. So 10 men, 25 points, but they're disheartened. But they've got security, so they could double up as slight recon, because they've got good optics. Good optics in this game isn't very good, though. Milan 2 behind that. 2 more Tarasques, and a CV for Echo Foxtrot. So we'll cast the game, and I will do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and I'd like to take the time to thank the generous channel joiners. They get their names on the screen. At the higher tiers, they also get the games cast at a rate of 1 per month. You can save it all up if you want, and then ask me for loads within 1 month. And they get exclusive videos, they get early access to videos. So yeah, thank you very much for bankrolling the channel and making it so I don't have to worry about ad revenue. So the Berlin rifles, I always want to say Berlin light rifles, but he's not actually brought any of those. The Berlin rifles have eventually been pathed, and they're going over to here. So Suojeluskunta is going to sit outside Bravo, essentially, and then presumably try and slowly work his way in with infantry. I think 8th is the stronger division. And yeah, so these guys for some reason are going the other way to the other two. We'll see who gets there first, given that the game has chosen to make these guys go this way and these guys go this way, despite the fact that they're almost going to the same place. So we'll see who gets there first. My money's on these guys because there's a big kink in the road here. So early leads for Suojeluskunta because he has 2 CVs to Berthags, many cigarettes 1, and so he's going to be able to cap Foxtrot Alpha, and many cigarettes isn't going to be able to cap Charlie. It's a good Eyehawk position. So, you know, 8th, it gets really good infantry of its own. Gets more good tanks. It gets better tanks than Berlin Com. Gets better AA than Bercom. Better fighters, of course. Bercom gets the new pork, but that will go down to an F-16, no problem. So many cigarettes is sending a tank CV to Charlie, which is interesting. Presumably he will then bring that over here to fight. Because typically you want to... he's not capped this either. He's just sat his CV back there. Right, he's noticed now. And, yeah, so Suojeluskunta, I mean, he could just go for the early point lead, because he's going to... Although I've noticed... Oh, did he only open 1 CV as well? Okay. That was foolish of me. I thought he had 2. So, the French cars, for some reason, are really, really fast off-road. Their off-road speed is almost as good as their on-road speed, so him pathing it incorrectly like this doesn't actually cost him that much. So if you compare it to the M35 truck, this is like half the speed off-road as it is on-road. And like the Humvee's a bit better, I think. Yeah, it's like 3/4 maybe. But yeah, the Unimog is like less than half. But for some reason, the the French ones are all really, really fast. Or the VABs. I don't see any VAB transport variants, just this, and the ILTs. Yeah, interesting. So ACAB's going to open up, and it takes out a Fox on the first hit. So 35% accuracy, it do be like that sometimes. So you would expect the Foxes to win these fights, but I think he's had it now. And the B team dies to a Mech Rifle's Law over here, so that was, it was very... you'd expect that to work against a bad player, basically, but he's not against a bad player. Don't expect the Fox to win this, because the ACAB's going to hit him eventually. And, yeah, okay. So Fox goes down there, and Suojeluskunta, yeah, he's on a +1 for now. But it's not... I mean, I haven't seen this, right, so I don't know what happens. But I'd much rather be in many cigarettes position here. Much rather, because he's just got the better division. And that's all there is to it. So this guy cannot shoot back, right? He doesn't really have... I mean, he's got the Humvee tow here, which he can't really... Because of where this is, you know, he'd have to be here to shoot it, in which case it's going to shoot him back. So he's doing a decent job rotating his infantry. So he's put the Berlin rifles in there, but they also can't shoot. So now he's going to slowly lose his HP. So I'm not sure about this. Vab Milan trying to come round to shoot, presumably to shoot that. Oh no, it can see, somehow it can see, oh I guess because of this guy. So you see when it stood still, the security trait activates. And yeah, you see the Humvee tow just went into range and died. Like, this has decent accuracy, 65%, so you would expect that. And, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what Berthags supposed to do in this kind of situation. Your tanks aren't as good. Your inf is slightly better, but sort of not really, because mech rifle spam is crazy. So he's sending over 2 hell arms, which I really don't think is the play. I do like this very beefy howitzer, so 8th gets better artillery as well, because of that big beefy howitzer there. Since the dispersion changes, I think those bigger ones are much more useful than the paladin, simply because the first shot usually one-shots the ATGM team you're trying to kill before he can run off. So that ACAV's doing some surviving there. He's a born survivor. Doesn't get smoke, though, so he does eventually go down. So the sec is going to attack, but I think he's just going to die because he's running into 15 men with guns, and he's going to get shot. So he's trying to run away. Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't get away. So the Meep will beat the M60, but once many cigarettes swapped into M1A1s, the M1A1s beat the Meeps quite decisively because of that. It's like 2 more pen or something. But this Vab Milan's in a decent spot, and he's bringing up a Milan 2 as well. And we can tell that his plan is still to get in there. So the Noob Hawk might just die to the iHawk on its first go. It really does depend if it gets spotted or not. So it's got no ECM, so if it gets spotted, it tends to go down. And the hell arms are being brought over, probably to go for this, because I assume we can see that. This is a good spot, actually. I mean, Suojeluskunta is doing pretty well. he's once you get to here, it becomes quite difficult to defend this zone, because you can shoot the reinforcements. I mean, you know, so he needs like this to there in order to do that, but no more reinforcements could come in once this gets to there. I am interested to see what's going to happen with the Noob Hawk. I think it's going to be a bit of a damp squib. But yeah, you're really going to struggle to kill 8th infantry, because they're all mega squads, and usually they've got dragons, although he's opted not to bring it there. And the Dragon 2 can shoot back. But the advantage of outnumbering your enemies so much, it's not to be underestimated. Right, so the Noob Hawk shot comes in, and ooh, it gets 2 units there. Sadly, only 1 comes up here, but I think it got a mech rifles law and an engineers. So Suojeluskunta's got in. So I would now bring the CV in and put it in this corner as fast as possible, because otherwise you've accomplished nothing, and that's just the big pain with this game. And there's so few zones. It's very difficult to accomplish anything. So he could switch one of these to smoke this up and drive the CV in. But right now he's just going for standard kind of attack. That Milan 2 team will probably die on the first hit. Oh, never mind, he's not, he's cancelled it. Oh, he started it again. Right, so, yeah, watch. See? So you can interrupt the volley and then go shoot another one. But people usually just let it fire because you don't know. But you can be pretty confident, to be honest. Especially when it's this close. So once you get the Humvee towed to here, and it's the same thing on this side, right? So if you get somebody to here, you've cut this zone in half with your ATGM. Same with this. But once you get to here, you're doing the same thing. So I think many cigarettes invested in far too many... you see the Dragon 2 coming into its own there. Invested into far too many like long-range AA pieces, but not enough shore rad. Like, there should be stingers in here, because the Hellarm bully is real. And there you go. So Suojeluskunta, he's got his CV in, and actually he's gonna take the zone because this mutt isn't in position there. Sorry, just itching my eye. I have seasonal allergies. This is why I'm a Warno player. So would love to see this Humvee tow get over to here and cut the reinforcements, because many cigarettes is still able to resupply. Oh, that could have been a very disastrous side shot. He's still able to resupply, whereas if he puts this here... Actually, I guess these will probably kill it, so never mind. But they weren't there before. Yeah, so the Humvee tow's opening up now on the M60s. I'm very surprised by many cigarettes' approach to bring the M60 as opposed to just spamming M1A1s. You get more out at the start, but it does leave you vulnerable to situations like this when a guy with worse tanks than your division still has better tanks than you're currently bringing. There's some serious Humvee tow bully going on here. The Bradley is going to counter. So this doesn't get smoked, so I think it's just dead because everybody's firing tow 2s which have mega accuracy, 65%. But it's interesting. So 12 armor can survive a tow 2 shot. That was really unlucky. That was really unlucky. Right, so the luck runs out. Oh, it depends whose side you're on. You know, if you think it's lucky or not. And there you go. So many cigarettes doing a great job just counter battery in the mortars. Tow Cobra's out. It's gonna hit the Meep. No, it goes on the AM30, but this is only an ITO. Hellam needs to get back right now or it's dead, but he's not noticed. Newpork's coming in there, and the IHawks can't spot it. You need an F-16 up. So it's looking pretty dangerous for many cigarettes now. Pretty dangerous. And you see that Suojeluskunta's put some blocking units here, although these are very expensive blocking units to stop anything coming down here, but that doesn't have AT, so and neither does that. So and this is the main road that people drive down. It tends to be this one. They tend not to come down this one, so I'm surprised. Oh, there you go. He's doing it now. But he's lost his mortars, and now he's got this problem where he's really going to struggle to take the whole zone. I think he should... I mean, he's just lost so much there in the final few meters because he drove into all these ITOs. That tow Cobra goes down, though, which will help even the odds. But yeah, he's like, I need the zone, and I mean, I think he's gonna get it, but it depends, because he's not got any, like, he didn't bring the Stinger up, so this guy's probably gonna die now. He needs to move this forwards, or it's dead. It's too late. And yeah, you can always hide a guy in here, so I do wonder, I think this guy's about to get shot by that Bradley, so the zone is neutralized. And he's bought this tank CV, so I would love to see... And he's got another one there, so he's going to move those in. And yeah, this guy, yeah, he's in a great spot. He's in a great spot. You can probably see that. But they can't see him because the recon is blocked by this house, and he's in the house behind. So that is a big problem for many cigarettes. But he's still in this. I mean, he got counter-batteried there, but survived, because this thing's got less than 1 top armor, but still. Although I do not... Oh, there you go. P4, 99 kilometers an hour off-road speed. I do not agree with selling the transport this comes in because he can't move it. And so he's trying to get that MLRS. Many cigarettes is going to have supply problems in the late game, I feel. Here we go. F-16 out. He's going for the noob hawk. He can hear it. So he's sound listening here. He's sound listening, so he can hear it just by sticking your face in. You can hear it. That's how you do it. But he's going to fly over some Stingers now. Okay, so he's dodging the Stingers, and he's gonna get evac'd. So you got to be careful when you're using the noob hawk because that's how people deal with it. They oh, is he gonna hit? Is he gonna hit his opponent? Whoa! Oh, it was. I mean, it looked like it hit him dead on. It did some cohesion. That's a shame. I would have liked to have seen that blow up, but hey, whatever. Yeah, I mean. Don't sell this. Don't sell the transport this comes in because that thing is still alive. The Mega RT, where is it? On his mediocre cohesion, and once he's back up, he's going to start hitting things. In hindsight, I mean, many cigarettes, he had to buy this at some point because he needs to clear out the ATGMs, but I think buying both of these RT pieces put him quite far behind here because he's like 600 points behind. Because this is 320 and this is 260. So, you know, 480 points behind. But now, Suojeluskunta, he's overextending a little bit. I think he just needs to accept that, look, I'm already winning. I shouldn't be losing my units. And there you go, so the recoilless rifle's up. You can barely see it. It's got 1400 meter range. Pissy B's not going to make it, and that leaves this flank very exposed. The Abrams CV has been spotted, and the Gazelle rocket core is out. The IHawk takes down the Hellam. So yeah, it's not looking great for. I mean, so to you, it probably looks like Suojeluskunta is having a great game, but I'm always, because this happens to me all the time, I'm very conscious of what happens when you just keep running forwards and you lose all your units. So I don't think many cigarettes is out of this. Here we go. So the F-16, he can hear it, and he's probably going to kill this because it's just flying over the enemy without a target. Okay, it's very, very dead now. Yeah, so that was not the play at all. I think once you're this close, because he knows about the... Or did he know about the Eyehawk? Probably not, actually, because it didn't actually fire until then. But once you're this far up, you don't want to be using the Newporks because they've got to be on the map for a very long time, and you're flying closer and closer to the enemy AA as you push. So I think Suojeluskunta, he's got to slow down a bit here. But yeah, many cigarettes. He's buying more AA, which I really feel like he doesn't need. Although I mean, maybe there's lots of Gazelle rockets here. So the RCL goes down. The Eyehawk's going on the Gazelle rockets again. I'm surprised. I mean, this artillery should really, really be shooting that Eyehawk position if it's not going to shoot anything else. The Gazelle rockets are just suiciding. I don't agree with this. This is a big waste, big waste, big waste. But this meat blob is pretty potent. His micro's good, so he's just driving forwards, getting hit, driving that one backwards. Newpork's out, and it hawks that CV, but it sort of misses, I guess, because he evac'd it early. And yeah, he needs to smoke this. He's going to lose his command CV. Oh, he doesn't even get the enemy one because it routes. He's noticed, because this one's smoked, which helps that guy. Right, interesting. But yeah, many cigarettes definitely on the back foot here. He's got to get a CV back in here, but it's not easy. I think he should focus more on the trades. Like this has been reloaded for a long time, and if he manages to hit that blob, it's going to be huge. He could also use like a mortar for smoke, but he's forced to sort of play this axis because he can't reinforce down that road because of all these ATGMs that are here. Like this isn't firing either. He probably doesn't see any of this. But he should be hitting it. So he should be seeing... And there you go, so he sees something. He's hitting a racist. This is going on the... Yeah, okay, fair enough, because the tanks are just going to move. And he probably can't see them anyway because they're so far away. So this is a decent volley, and he'll probably get all 3 units, but... You know, it's 3 minutes till he can fire again. And, yeah, I want to see what happens to this racist in... That's a long game time. So the Meeps are repairing, but yeah, many cigarettes keeps buying the helicopters, but Suojeluskunta, he's got the Stingers up. Sec should be LRS. I mean, they're max vet, and they've got 2 more men, and they've got 5 SMGs, which at close range makes them very powerful. But they start outside the building, and you see the racist goes down there. Oh, so he actually split the volley on this. So that was cool, because then he actually got quite a lot of bang for his buck there. And many cigarettes he's back in, but he needs to heal this up first, or at least have this one behind this one, because this one can survive a Stinger hit. Whereas this one can't, because it's already taken one. Looks like the Sec is going to go down there. And Suojeluskunta is missing some AA here. Like, he's got plenty of Stingers over here. Like, he's done a great job here, but he's trying to attack over here without AA. And 8th always, you've got to be constantly wary of 8th's helicopter panic button. So, many cigarettes, he's going there again, but he already shot a few things there. And that's just the way the artillery targeting works. It's a bit balked. It's a bit of a balked artillery system. Because basically, if you interrupt a volley and then attack position the... you attack position another thing after you've interrupted the volley, it will fire the remainder of the volley, but it will also sit there and wait to fire the whole next volley. So this is just a continuation of the previous order. And you can see how useless that is, because they've either moved or you got them, right? Because it's 3 minutes until the next one. And that's the same with all artillery. So the same thing happened here. He interrupted his previous salvo, most likely. At least I assume the same thing happened here. So, these 1400-meter range recoilless rifles, they're not cheap. Their accuracy is very low. But if you keep them supplied, then they're a real pain in the neck, because they fire from so far away. And they're going to get some hit. Like, look, he's shooting him from there. So, and for some reason, you can't see him. Weird. But yeah, if he had vision on this, or if he attack positioned it, he could shoot that. Just infantry have this weird thing where they will leave the position if you attack position on a building. Sometimes they leave the position to shoot, which is weird. So, the Abrams blob has come back again, because... yeah. This guy's reloading again. And yeah, you see that the lack of stinger here, like, really one of these should be over here, because he's probably going to lose that whole squad. Ah, that's a shame. So what happened there was they target switched, or they lost vision on him. I don't know. I think they target switched. So this is another problem with the game. Hasn't been fixed. And you probably saw that in these tank fights as well. Automatically, the enemy will get you to low suppression, and then it will change targets, because the targeting is taken from Steel Division 2. And in Steel Division 2, if you fully suppress somebody, they stop shooting. Whereas in this, they don't do that. So it's not great. So Suojeluskunta, he's brought back the Abrams blob. I don't know if this can intercept it. I mean, that's a very scary blob. But yeah, you see the power of the recoilless rifles. They can shoot back. And there's no recon here. So you see... is it this guy that's getting hit? No, he's hitting over here now. So I really like this unit, and I hope they don't change it. Somebody was telling me that it's not realistic, and I was like, oh my gosh. Everything must be the same. Everything must be boring. So hopefully they don't change it. I mean, it's expensive enough as it is. So, back to +1 with 18 minutes left. But you know, many cigarettes. He's made great strides here. Like he's got back in the zone at least. But yeah, these dragons, they don't have the. He needs these guys with him. These guys need to be with him because they're just getting shot and they're not shooting back. But I don't know. I really don't agree with the. There, here we go. This is going to be interesting. Oh, I cancelled it, and they're all reversing. I don't agree with the M60A3's philosophy at all, because the M1A1 can easily beat the Meep. The M1A1 is very cheap for what it is. 20 pen compared to 17. And the rate of fire and everything is the same, or even higher because of the veterancy he's brought it on, because it's 1 vet and then it's getting up vetted. Whereas it seems that these have been brought at no vet and then kept with the Meep to up vet them to 1. So he's trying to get some shots off, and it's a cool volley, but he knows that the tanks are just driving forwards and backwards, so it's very, very difficult to hit them with a grad. And yeah, is this just on automatic countermeasure? It is, so he's also got that to worry about. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. He keeps buying M60s, but M60s lose to Meeps. The Meep is way better. It's like twice the price, but actually, whoa, that's interesting. So this gets okay. It gets 2 less pen. Okay, that's significant actually. 15 pen is not great. I think at max range, this might not even be able to shoot at this. So Tow Cobra's brought up, but the Stingers are still there. This thing's out, and somehow an Abrams CV died in this epic tank duel. I say duel. This is sort of more. It's more than a 1v1. Mass smoke there, which is not what you want to do, but when the micros, you know, is that where you want to waste your micro? Smoke doesn't cost 10 million anymore, but the supply's all back here. So now he's got to drive all that back there to get its supply back. You can see he's doing that. The Tarask is brought up on the Tow Cobra, and for some reason the Stinger can't see that, even though the building in front of him has been obliterated. And here's the second Noob Hawk. What's it going for? What is it going for? I mean, it's just going to get eye-hawked. And the F-16 is out to spot it. Yeah, he hears it. Because you can hear this from quite far away. Like, you can see that I can hear it from over here. But he can't go too close because he'll get hit by the AA. So it's an interesting dichotomy because I feel like that is a reasonable use of the sound thing, because otherwise you legit can never see that Nuke. So that's one. That's like the only way in the game that the sound people. That's their comeback when you point out the fact that the sound bug is very silly. So many cigarettes. He's like, okay, this isn't working. I need to go attack Alpha. But that has been preempted by the delivery of these Engineers Dragon here, who are going to make that attack very difficult. This is 14 pen, which will kill this one armor vehicle. And yeah, the RT's flying. Paladins purchased, and a rover CP is being kept with them so that they fire faster. You see that it's 26-second aim time instead of like 30 or something. I still think it's quite a small change, but if you've got 80 points to spare. So, mortars are out now, and the mortars are being used to buy Suojeluskunta to make his Humvee tow unable to shoot. So I'm not sure why he's doing that. I guess it's so he could get these up to here so that he can side shot all this, but it's not going to be a side shot, it's going to be a front shot because he's got no force here to also shoot. So, okay, so now he's like, okay, now I'll smoke some more. I don't know if this was good smoke usage. What he wants to smoke is in front of this, so that he could drive up, so that his infantry can take this without all this stuff shooting him. That's where the smoke should be. What's happening? Hellam's been hit by a stinger or something, but where was that? Was that this one? And okay. So now he's so now he is what's he doing? So he's gonna smoke that, then smoke that. I do like the smoke play. That's why you don't want to cluster your Hellarms, because the splash from especially a super duper missile like the Ihawk's gonna hurt them all at once. That's not fantastic, but he's got no recon in this blob. So Chaparral, though, he really needs a racist in this blob. Or a Sonderwagen would be really useful. So here we go. Many cigarettes counterattack. The new Pork drops a bomb, and it will get a Mech Rifles Dragon for no cost. The F-16 was not up. And this is an interesting push. Because these only have 3 armor. Oh, these only do 14. Never mind. I thought they were the Dragon too. But he's got to do something, so I agree with it. I agree with it. But yeah, you see that the... Like, even though these have very good optics, I don't think they can see this. Yeah, they can't see it, otherwise they'd be shooting it. So, this is actually the building behind. Oh, there we go, he sees it now. And these AMX-30Bs will deal with this, given the ranges involved. He really needs to move this forwards and get some extra shots down range. Here we go, RT. Oh, it's counter batterying, and it looks like this is the second time it's doing it, and these haven't moved since the first time because they're already low. So I think he'll lose both of these. It really does depend on the RNG. So there you go. At least one goes down. Cobra's being hit by the Stinger that's here. Can be useful to have a Stinger in here. Definitely you want a recon in the church, because religious people can see further than atheists. As you can see, this atheistic dwelling can't see very far, but this religious dwelling can. So if you have a Stinger in there, it can shoot further, and if you have a recon in there, it can shoot further. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty bad for many cigarettes right now. I don't see how he pulls this back. I mean, he's sort of getting somewhere, but he's sort of not, because he's got no close range AT. So even if he gets all the way in here, these are going to kill him at minimum range, hiding behind the houses and stuff. And the Bradleys keep dying, and the Noob Hawk's back already, because it's got 60-second resupply cost, but that's for 2 LGBTs, which means the resupply cost on 1 is 30. Right, he's being a bit greedier now. He should really be evacing. He should really be evac. He's a dead man. Oh, never mind. The Stingers didn't go, and the A-10's not. Because if the A-10 had right-clicked that, I think he would have got it. Yeah, that Cobra eventually goes down. F-16 is not going to get there in time. And the meat blob has been moved to deal with this threat. But that means that there's no CV in here. But at this point, it doesn't matter too much. But it is nice to get a CV in here because you're in the zone. And the A-10 is now going to get shot by 4 stingers. And down it goes. Does 8th get the LGBT? I think it does. I think it does. And so I'm very surprised that's not been brought because Suojeluskunta's got no long-range AA at all on Berlin command. So you can really bully them with the LGBT because if you try and kill this at max range, right, with the LGBT and evac straight away, that should... Okay, interesting. This can't actually shoot back. There's a range. So, yeah, that's why you need the Eyehawk and the Chaparral. But really what you need is a fighter, and Burcom do not get good fighters. So these guys managed to get out, but they need supply bringing up, and everything takes ages on Black Forest. But the... So this man's still alive. You must just be on auto-attack, because you wouldn't really want to attack this. And you see at these close ranges, it's actually the autocannons doing the damage there. And the autocannons on the French ones have really high accuracy because it's slaved to the main gun. Just like the machine gun on this, which doesn't have high accuracy. Far be it from me to point out such discrepancies in the game, which may or may not lead to advantages by certain nations over others. I, of course, am a changed man. But yeah, I don't really see how many cigarettes is going to get back into this. He didn't, like, he should have had one good tank here in this push. Like, he would have delayed the push by a minute, but then these two would have just been obliterated instead of killing all the baddies. And a couple stingers there wouldn't go amiss. But really, he should have had the fighter up while he was attacking, because you could always expect that. If you have a fighter, you should really have it up while you're attacking. Because the first thing the enemy is going to do is bring a plane, and the second thing is a helicopter. Reinforcements are the third slowest. But yeah, if you're defending, then you might think, oh, I shouldn't send the plane. It's usually worth sending the plane. Because if they're attacking, presumably they've gone past their AA net, as he has here. So back to a +1 for Suojeluskunta. And I feel like many cigarettes, he just never really got his feet off the ground. And that's how you want to play this matchup if you're Bearcom. So I can understand Suojeluskunta's continued to attack constantly and stuff like that. Because if you let the 8th player build up an M1A1 blob, it will definitely beat your M1 IP blob. So that rover's probably going to explode now. So this M270 has done work, but he bought it when the enemy was attacking his zone, and so he spent like 3 minutes income on these two, and then the enemy took his zone. Whereas if he'd had 3 minutes income of Mech Rifle's Dragon in here, he never would have lost that zone. Or maybe Smoke Mortar. So this is like a Wargame Red Dragon tactic to smoke your heavy tanks. So I'm not sure what's going on there. It seems like he is going to get shot a bit, but it looks like it's working for him. And the M1A1 counter blob is now at the point where it can beat this, but there's 6 minutes left. Oh, not fantastic. And yeah, even more artillery purchase for many cigarettes. I think he should have gone for... Well, I don't know, because if you buy smoke of your own to get your units in there, you've got to make sure they've got satchels or something, because obviously the Berlin command units are very difficult to deal with. I think he should have played more in the open with his M1A1s. And, you know, losing this is kind of the key. This is a very important part of owning this zone. Because Suojeluskunta could just constantly see all of many cigarettes units. And it doesn't work the other way around. Well, to an extent. So, yeah, I think those artillery purchases kind of doomed him. Like, this was a cool idea, but if he just waited until he got a tank... And then you see, like, as soon as you... if you attack preemptively, when you're behind like this and you do like a flanking attack, if you do that preemptively, you've lost your chance, because by the time you go again, or even if it's like a slow attack, if you do it haphazardly, then by the time you attack the second time, the enemy's just put a guy in every single building. The defending is easier than attacking, so it is a problem. But I do admire Many Cigarettes' play here in terms of he's like, okay, so he's put loads of guys here, I'll attack here. But, you know, he's getting flanked, and it's difficult. That TOW 2 should finish this guy off, though. I mean, he's getting stunned up, so... Oh, it misses. Okay. M60's sealed the deal. So the LRS... Yeah, he needs to be with these guys, because they can't... He's just taking all these hits. And here we go, the meat blob is back after resupplying, and these men have taken too many losses and will not be able to fight. So, Many Cigarettes now has to try and grind a town down, which has Berlin Command inside it, which is not going to happen without MLRS. And I've noticed that neither player has bothered to bring any satchel units. So what you can do in these imp fights... I mean, Sapper's Flam, kind of the same thing. What you can do in these imp fights... No, I saw an engineer at the start of the game, I remember. Many Cigarettes, he had a 45-point engineer unit. Oh, that's a good A10 run. Oh, he gets 3 CVs down there in like a minute. I'm not sure if this one got that one, but it definitely got the other two. So that was a huge loss for Suojeluskunta. And, you know, if he brought this with his blob, that wouldn't have happened, or at least it would have happened to less of an extent. So yeah, this attack's obviously not going to go anywhere, because he's just running across the field, and by the time you get there, you're low cohesion, so it doesn't matter if your guys are special forces, whatever. They've already lost all their HP, and then they just die because of low cohesion, so... Not fab. As these buildings come down, this stops being a place you can hide, and I think he's noticed that. Or maybe he's trying to get across the road. He will survive the Abrams, but the TOW 2's there. But yeah, he's just trying to buy time. There's only 3 minutes left. Many Cigarettes has exhausted his push. Like, he finally managed to get his zone back, but there's 2 minutes left in the game. So, yeah, I think this was a tournament game. I think this was played in the Warno League tournament. I'm not 100% sure. And if it was, why would you not ban Berlin Command against Suojeluskunta? Like, it's literally the only div he plays. Why would you not ban this? Why would you let him play it? So maybe it was just a ranked game, because 8th is a very common ban as well. 8th, I think, is one of the 2 strongest divs in the game this patch, along with 2nd Panzergren. But yeah, I mean, let's think about what happened here. Suojeluskunta didn't go for the minute 0 attack. He went for like the minute 1 attack, and his infantry, you know, he managed to push Many Cigarettes out of here. To be honest, I think Many Cigarettes is on the weaker side, because it is easier for red to get in here than it is for blue to get in here. So he did that, and then yeah, Many Cigarettes was buying artillery, which, you know, I can understand the need once the enemy's in here and so on, but like, he bought that when he could have had, like, how much is a mech rifle's law? 60 points. This is 320. So he could have had 5 of these instead of 1 of these. And at that crucial moment in the game, you want 5 of these. I don't think he transitioned into M1A1s quickly enough. I think the M60 is a bit useless against meeps. He bought loads of Eyehawks and Chaparrals, whereas he should have just had 1 Eyehawk. The Stingers make sense. And then relied on the F-16. So, yeah. It's tough. That's just on counter battery, isn't it? So yeah, I think an overinvestment in artillery from Many Cigarettes. Not enough M1A1 Abrams. And once you're behind on your tank blob, every fight you're going to lose more tanks than your opponent, because he's got more tanks than you. So it starts to spiral out of control. And there you go. So I think that was the surrender. And Suojeluskunta wins a major victory. Suojeluskunta ranks 16 with 157 games this patch, an 81% win rate. Basically, all he plays is Berlin Command, as you could tell from this. Many Cigarettes plays the game. Used to play the game a lot. Oh, that's just my stats. Well, that's a pain in the neck. So you see that this did pay for itself, and this probably paid for itself, but I think he just bought them at the wrong time. And the M60s, yeah, it's like so yeah, he got more kills, but it's that's sort of not the point. But yeah, it's very difficult to attack in this game. And yeah, I think the AA investment was a bit silly. You should have just bought more F-16s, like 2 F-16s. In fact, yeah, he should have just not bought the iHawk at all and just had 2 F-16s. Have one constantly flying backwards and forwards just behind your front line. And because you know you can, because the enemy doesn't have long range AA, so you don't have to worry about that. And then have the second one in reserve, and then oh, there's iHawk spotted, and you just send them out, and you just try and take out. Sorry, Noob Hawk spotted, you just try and get that Noob Hawk. But you see that many cigarettes definitely had the advantage at the start. I thought Suojeluskunta wasn't gonna make it, but I don't know. He just kept snowballing, and yeah, I mean that was wild. That A10 taking out all those CVs, but. And that's probably what swung the kills at the end, right? Because that's like 800 points or whatever. That's 700 points. And yeah, 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 yeah.